Hello everybody, in this session we're going to practice another letter from our curly letter handwriting family, and it's a tricky one. It's a problematic letter. It causes lots of problems in our writing. So it's quite a challenge today, this one, and it is the letter S, and it makes the S sound. Now remember that for this session you will need either a whiteboard or some plain paper or scrap paper, and hopefully as well some lined handwriting paper so that you can practice writing your letters on the line. And also a handwriting pen or a nice sharp pencil would do just nicely. Right, so we're ready to start with the letter S. We can do this, let's get started. Right, so we're going to practice the letter S, which is part of our curly letter handwriting family. So I'm going to start with a letter we've seen before. I'm going to draw the letter C. So up, round in a curve, back round, and into your hook. Now the letter S starts off in a similar way. So we start in the same position and we go up, round in a curve. It's important with the letter S not to go too high or too low. And because there's lots of curving going on, this can be quite tricky. But really the letter S shouldn't be any higher than your letter C. So up, round, in a curve, back round, and then curve back, round, and then hook. And there we have the letter S. So I've drawn 6 dots onto my whiteboard and I'm going to use these as a starting point for my letter S. So we're going to start on the dot, and we start just like the letter C. So on the dot, up round in a curve, back round, curve back, and hook. And there's our first letter S. So let's try that again. So up round in a curve, back round, curve back, and hook. And in this stage we're focusing on our letter formation and not necessarily size. So here's a bigger letter S. As I come through, I'm going to curve back and into my hook. The hook on the letter S feels a bit strange when you first do it, when you first start doing a hook on your letter S, but this will help when you come to join your letters. So it is worth persevering with that lead out line at the end as you come round, and then your hook. So let's do one more then. So starting the line, go up, round in a curve, back round, curve back, and hook. Now this is a tricky letter, so I would recommend that you do at least 6 of these before you go on to the next stage. But if you're ready, go ahead, tick your favourite letter S, the one you think is your neatest. I'm going to tick mine, I think this one is it. And now we're ready for stage 2. So now let's have a go on lined paper. Now the common mistake with the letter S is to make it too tall. And that's because there's a lot of curving going on, and we can sometimes find it a bit hard to get all these curves in one letter. So here's what the mistake might look like then in a word. So in the word bus, you'll notice that my S there is almost it's as tall as my letter B, and it should be only as tall as the letter U or the round part of the B. So just be careful with the letter S. It's only as tall as the letter C or the letter A, and it's not a tall ladder letter, so just make sure you're not making that too tall. So let's practice then. So starting on the line, up, round in a curve, back round, curve back, and hook. So I've got my one S there, and I think, well, I'm going to have a go at doing 6, but actually it might be worth doing as many as you can because these are tricky, so we need to practice them as much as possible. So on the line, up, round in a curve, back round, curve back, and hook. So you remember that that first step is just like the first step of the letter C, where you go up, round in a curve, and then you go back round and curve back, and then into your hook. So just keep practicing those as much as you can, making sure they're not too tall on your line. They're not taller than the letter C, for example. And there we go. So that was stage 2. So choosing your favourite letter S. I think this one is my neatest. And we will go on to stage 3 now. So starting on the line, up, round in a curve, back round, curve back, and then hook into your next letter S. And I want you to have a go at doing 6 sets of 3 of these, and making sure your letter S's are the same height and they're not too tall, so they're not like this, which is difficult to do. It's difficult to get those letter S's small enough, because there is a lot of curving going around, and sometimes when we're joining it becomes even more difficult to get those letter S's. Remember, they're the same size as a letter A. So the top of your S shouldn't be any taller than your letter A. So start on the line, then up, round in a curve, back, round, curve back, and then hook into your next letter S. Let's see if we can do 6 sets of 3 here, making sure those letter S's are the same height. So I've completed 5. Keep going. So starting on line, up, round a curve, back, round, curve back, and hook into the next letter S. I'm just going to do one more set, just so that I've got plenty of practice, because the more I practice, the easier I'm going to find this. And there's my last set, and now I'm going to choose which set is my favourite, and I think that last set is my neatest, so give a tick to your neatest one. Making sure that your letter S's are all the same height. So in stage 4 we practice a little bit with our style, and the sentence I would like you to write is, I am missing you so much. So start with my capital letter, I am missing, with my M, and then I'm going to go up in a curve, back, round, curve back, and hook into the next letter S. And notice that the letter S isn't any taller than the letter M or the letter N or the letter G. It's the same height, so it shouldn't be any taller. It shouldn't look like a capital letter, should it? And there's my letter O with my changing the direction from the top of the middle. Missing you so much. And now I'm going to have a go at doing a forward slant with smaller writing. So I'm tilting my paper slightly just to help me get the slant on the page. And remembering to make sure your letters lean the same amount, not too far. So they all need to be leaning the same direction, the same amount. Some letters are leaning more than others. It will look a bit messy, it won't look right. It takes a lot of practice, so you need to keep practicing and practicing this. So I am missing. And don't worry too much about the letters we haven't practiced before yet in these videos, but do focus on the letter S and the other letters from the curly letter handwriting family that we've seen so far. So missing you so much. I'm pleased with that, and now I'm going to change my paper again. I'm going to tilt backwards now, because lots of people tilt backwards when they're writing. It doesn't come naturally to me, but I'm going to show you what this could look like in case it's the style that's right for you. So I am missing, coming up to that S, so up, round, curve back, and then into your next letter. I am missing U, and so up, round in the curve back, and hook into the next letter. I'm missing you so much. There's our curly C and full stop. Right, so I'm going to write my final sentence without a slant, which is fine. You can choose the style that's right for you. I am going to go a bit smaller than in the first sentence though, because I do think smaller handwriting looks neater. You just got to be careful not to make your handwriting too small, like it's impossible to read or uncomfortable to read. And there we go. So now you need to think about which of your letters is your neatest, like which S was your neatest S, and give that a little tick. And also have a look at your sentence and think which is your neatest sentence, and perhaps give that a little tick as well, or the sentence that you feel is your style. And that was the letter S, a really, really tricky letter today. So send those pictures of your work to me. I love seeing them. Don't worry if you still need a bit of practice. You're not going to solve the letter S in one day. It takes practice. And well done everybody. Keep up the good work.